From my last video, I got requests from people who are asking how they will become software engineers in 2025. What are the things they're supposed to do? All right, apart from the fact that I have a dedicated YouTube channel where I'm going to be teaching people, from this week about how to start setting up their system and setting up ahead of 2025. I'm going to explain to you a few things you need to know. The things you need to learn, the skills, the knowledge, and the technology areas you need to focus on if you want to become a software engineer. First of all, you need to learn to know which programming language you want to learn and for what purpose. For instance, I am a JavaScript TypeScript developer because I focus on web development mostly, web mobile app development mostly. So that's why I use JavaScript and TypeScript. TypeScript and JavaScript, they are virtually the same thing. TypeScript is just a typed version of JavaScript, and that's what I use for my programming languages. So if you're interested in going to things like cybersecurity, machine learning, data science, your option might be to go and learn Python, for instance. Then if you want to build or work in legacy organizations like banks, you might want to learn Java, because most of those applications in those companies are legacy applications are built with Java programming language. So the first three programming languages I'm going to recommend for anybody is JavaScript, TypeScript, Python, and Java. Those are the programming languages I can recommend for anyone who wants to go into software development in 2025. Then after you've been able to point out the library you want to learn, the next thing is what are the frameworks and libraries. So there are frameworks that you can use, that you can use to build your applications. So for web development, for instance, there are frameworks like React. For front-end web development, you can use React, you can use Angular, you can use Vue.js for front-end, and for back-end, you can use frameworks like Express.js or Next.js, or you use Django for back-end framework. So I told you the other time I write in TypeScript and JavaScript, and the frameworks I use for my front end is React and Next.js, and for the back end I use Express.js and also Next.js. All right, so those are the frameworks. So if you follow my YouTube channel, for instance, those are the tutorials, those are the things I'm going to be teaching you on, and you would understand. So that is that. Then for mobile app development, if your interest is to go to become a mobile app developer, there are frameworks like React Native. That is what I also use. There are frameworks like Flutter, and these are the framework that you can use to build cross-platform applications. So we have Android operating system, and we have iOS operating system. Before now, you need to learn Java to build Android apps. You need to learn Swift, for instance, to build iOS app. All right, but now you can use cross-platform tools or frameworks like Flutter or React Native to build mobile applications for both iOS and Android. All right, so those are the tools. Those are the frameworks that you can use. So if you're going into cloud computing, for instance, if that is your area of interest, and of course, even as a software engineer, you need to know a little bit about cloud computing. That is understanding how platforms like Amazon Web Service, which is popularly known as AWS, works. Azure is for Microsoft. Then Google Cloud Platform is also for Google. Those are so you need to understand how it works, and if you also follow me through, I will also give you tutorials on how most of those platforms work. So then another thing you need to learn is the DevOps practices. There's something we call DevOps practices, development and operations. Okay, so you need to be familiar with CI/CD tools. What's the meaning of CI/CD? I will explain more later. So CI/CD means continuous integration and continuous deployment. So, and there are tools like Jenkins, GitHub Actions, and that you need to know. Then there are also containerization tools like Docker and Kubernetes. Of course, you don't need to learn everything and master all of this in your head for now. It will take you time to get to understand them. Then after that, we want to talk about database management. What database management do you want to use? We have two different types of databases. We have SQL, we have relational databases and non-relational databases. So relational databases are databases like Postgres SQL, MySQL. All right, so they are relational. They have tables and columns. They are more structured, so they are called relational databases. And we have non-relational or no SQL. So SQL means structural query language. So we have no SQL databases. Those are the databases that are not structured. Example is MongoDB. Okay, so MongoDB, there is DynamoDB and a lot of DBs that are not structured. I would also, teach you, if you are coming to web development, you also learn about most of those databases. So another thing you need to also get familiar, with when you want to go into software development is familiarity with development methodologies. So there are method of development. So one of those ones that is very popular is Agile, Scrum, or Kanban methodologies. Those are the things you use for effective management. If you've heard of platforms like Trello, those are tools that you use to manage software development. Trello, Jira, Slack. Yeah, so I think Slack also has tools that you can use to effectively manage project management in software development. So you need to also understand that. So outside that, what are the other things that you need to get yourself familiar with is simple problem solving skills. Like I said, programming or software development has nothing to do with mathematics. It's just ability for you to have strong analytical and problem solving abilities. You understand you understand algorithms and data structures, and these things are not hard. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if with the advent of AI now, it is now much more easier for you to learn most of these things, like when those of us were learning it about 6-7 years ago. So you need soft skills, ability to collaborate with others, collaborations, within a team. So those are the adaptability, ability to change, because a lot of things change when you build software. Things can easily change, so you must be adaptable, right? So those are the things that you need to get yourself familiar with if you are moving into software development. So then portfolio and experience. So you need to, after you might have learned software development, you need to now build your portfolio, your CV. It's also, many people do not know how to build their CV, so you need to know how to structure your CV, how to contribute to open source. I will also get to that in my YouTube videos, where we'll be contributing to other open source projects. So those are the things that you need to just know, to be aware when you want to move into software development in the next 6 months, like I promised to say. So age does not really matter when it comes to software development. No matter your age, I've heard stories of people who went to prison. A man in Canada, after coming out from prison, could not get a job because of the tag is an ex-COVID. So the only option, he doesn't have anything to do, so he went to learn programming. And after, some few months of learning, he got a job. And as a programmer, they don't need your certificate. What they want to ask of you is, what can you do? Do you have the skill sets? Those are the most important thing it is when it comes to software development. From all companies I've worked for, though I had a master's degree, no company has ever asked me about my certificate of what level or what course do I even studied. So your course does not really matter. What matters is ability to showcase what you can do. I will also provide support on how you transition, how you can pass your interviews. What are things you are expected? Are you interviewing for a front-end role or for a back-end role? So I would also be making all of those things available. So what are the tools? When you want to talk about tools, what are the tools that you now need, if you want to start? And because this week our first video is going to be coming out, for instance, so about those tools and how to set them up. So you need an IDE, integrated development environment. You need an IDE. You need access to the internet. That is very, very key. You need access to the internet. You need those are the two things. And a laptop, you must have a laptop. Virtually everybody has one today. So you must have a laptop, you must have access to the internet, then you must have an ID on your system, and all of that tools. I will focus the video on the tools, and I'm going to record the video on how you download those tools, how you install them, what are the things you're expected to do in my subsequent videos on YouTube. So I would encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, because that is where most of those learnings is going to be coming up. So my passion personally is to see about 100 people become software engineers before June of 2025, and I want to invite you to join us on that journey.